I'm joined by fast becoming a friend of the channel, Dave the White Rhino Allen. We're doing a Bad Intentions preview. How's it going, Dave?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you, Adam.
Yeah, well, we're doing a Bad Intentions preview. First of all, I might as well ask, there was talk about you maybe fighting Derek Chisora. What happened there?
Yeah, there was, well, maybe not talk of it, it was, I put something out there on social media saying I'd like to fight Derek. It didn't come off, but, I had a lot more support, there was a lot of support behind the fight, and it has turned out it would have been a better fight than he's got, because he's got a very poor Eastern European import.
Jakov Gospik, 16.
Jakov, yeah, says it all. Yeah, pretty poor.
And he's 13-0.
He's been stopped by a 75-year-old Matt Skelton.
Yeah.
My last opponent stopped him in 2 rounds.
Really?
It's pretty poor, and this is pay-per-view, and it's a good pay-per-view as far as pay-per-view is concerned, but paying £21 or whatever it is, $16.95.
Well, I was going to come on to that. Is this first of all, we're doing a preview. Is this pay-per-view worthy? 16 quid, I think.
As far as other pay-per-views have gone in the past, then yeah, you'd have to say yeah, compared to the Hay Harrisons. Klitschko Fury was a poor pay-per-view. You were paying for one fight. There's some good fights on. There's some poor fights on. Malinage, he'll probably put me to sleep a little bit, and Luke Campbell will probably finish the job off fighting the tough Frenchman. They're not great fights. Chisora against Jakov. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. I am looking forward to that because I'll be on Twitter slagging him off all the way through.
Okay.
So hopefully that goes a few rounds.
Wasn't asking that, but anyway. All right. Well, so like Joshua Dillian Whyte. What do you see happening there? I see a mid-round stoppage for Joshua. I think Whyte will test him a little bit more, but I think he'll go out on his feet. What do you see happening there?
I think on paper it's a good fight. For the casual fan who tunes into Sky Sports News and sees the build-up and all the rest of it. It's a good fight. There's a lot of history involved. And Dillian Whyte is a good fighter. I've seen him spar Klitschko over in Austria, and I was very impressed. He was very good. He's very long-armed. He can box. So I hope he does that. I hope he makes Joshua think. Because the way to beat Joshua, I've said before, you're not going to beat him for pure physicality. You're going to have to box the man. And whether Dillian can do that, and whether he can do it for 12 rounds, and whether he can do it for 12 rounds in a good enough fashion to beat Joshua, I don't think so. I think Ansel will be too fast. I think Dillian will get drawn into a fight and get stopped early on. But like I said, I think he will be on his feet. He's a proud man, Dillian, and he'll be trying his best. And he'll be the first man who's going to come to go, and he won't lie down. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, So let's talk a little bit about the press conference yesterday and the weigh-in. There's been quite a lot of "I'm going to find you after" sort of vibe, sort of stuff coming from Dillian Whyte. Is that what do you make of that? Is there no place for it, or is that getting up for a fight? I personally think Joshua's been very calm and seemed to have handled it quite well. It looks like someone who's more at ease, which is one of the reasons why I have him winning more than I did before this build up to the fight. Dillian Whyte's come off as a little bit of a UK young Mike Tyson kind of vibe to him.
I think it's a mix of many things. I think Dillian, when he says that, I think he means it.
Yeah.
When I was in Austria for the Klitschko camp with Dillian, I know the camp before him and Anthony was there, and there was a bit of trouble that went off, and Dillian asked him to get outside there.
That is
fact. I know that Dillian story has been flying about a bit. But I've been told so. I think Dillian really does have a personal issue with Anthony. And I remember sat eating with Dillian once, and I said, "Look, do you want to fight? It's good money. Fighting Anthony Joshua will be good money." And he looked at me deadly serious and he said, "It ain't about the money. I want to beat the man." So he's coming to win. I know that because he looked at me dead in the eye. I remember because he put his knife and fork down, and he looked at me dead in the eye and he said, "No, it ain't about the money." So I know it's coming to win for definite, and I know there's some real beef involved, but I just don't think he's got the physical capabilities to match up to Anthony.
No. Okay. All right. Well, let's talk more about the card. We've got Chris Eubank Jr., Gary Spike O'Sullivan. There's a big kiss today. I thought that was hilarious. I don't know if you saw it. I really like this fight. A lot of people have been calling for this fight for quite a while. What do you think?
I've seen Spike fight 3 times. The Saunders fight, the Fitzgerald fight, and the Matthew Hall fight. In all of them 3 performances, nothing showed me that is at anywhere near Chris Eubank's level.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the kiss, maybe more than I should have. I did enjoy it, but I don't think he's on Eubank's level. I think Eubank's gonna have the last laugh tomorrow. But I think it's going to be good while it lasts, the same as the main event. I think there's a big disparity in terms of technical, maybe not technical ability in the big fight, but in terms of physical capabilities. Eubank looked huge at the weight. He's very strong, very fast. Sullivan looked a big puncher.
He was a couple of ounces over. You had to take a tiny bet. It was 2 ounces.
Eubank's a specimen at middleweight. He's a specimen of an athlete, and I think it'd be too much for Gary O'Sullivan.
Yeah, I think against Jetta in Sheffield, obviously you were fighting there. He did look. Obviously, the opponent wasn't much, but he did look to be a bit more accurate, a bit more clinical. I kind of agree with you.
Eubank looks to have got real world class ability. I think Spike O'Sullivan, he's a nice fella. You see him on Twitter, he's very nice, and he's come across well in the build up to the fight. But I think he may be in a bit too deep.
Okay, all right. And Tony Bellew against Masternak. I like this fight. Yeah. A lot of people have been big in this fight. This sounds like it's going to be a real war. Cruiserweight war. People are going to go down, might get up. Yeah,
it's a good fight. Masternak, I've seen him a few times. I think it was on Box Nation shows, in Germany, on some of the Sauerland shows. He looks a good fighter. I thought he was a lot taller than he is. He's a lot smaller than Bellew. Bellew was a big man, though. When I sparred with Bellew was bigger than me. But Masternak is a good, solid fighter. And Bellew's a good, solid fighter. I'm not sure that either of them are world class at cruiserweight. I don't think either of them have got the beating of a Hook or a Blavatsky or even Olafabi. But these are 2 very good fighters, and I think they're very similar in terms of ability. But I do see Bellew, maybe stopping Masternak late or a close points win.
Would you think that Bellew always seems to do something he can kind of rise to the occasion? Even against Stevenson, although he lost, he put him down, didn't he? So, he kind of likes these hard fights.
Yeah, Bellew was a good fighter. Before I sparred him, I weren't the biggest fan in the world, but after I sparred him, a newfound respect for him. I respected him anyway, but I saw that as a very good, very solid fighter. He's well schooled, and I think that may be the best fight of the night. But I think the Mitchell-Barroso fight as well. That looks like a good fight.
Yeah, that does look like a decent fight. Kevin Mitchell, obviously, I felt so sorry for him after Linares. I thought he was all over him. He put him down. He was winning most of the rounds, and it was just very unfortunate that cut. He couldn't go on. And a lot of people are saying Linares is head and shoulders above the rest in the lightweight division worldwide. So, what does that say about Kevin Mitchell? For me, I've got Kevin Mitchell being one of the best lightweights, not just in the country but in the world as well. I'm really hoping he can push on. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think if you're the best lightweight in Britain right now, you've got to be one of the best in the world, because we've got, it's a packed division. Also, Luke Campbell on the bill as well. I'd probably prefer just to see Kevin Mitchell, Luke Campbell, and get rid of Mendy, get rid of Barroso, and just have Mitchell and Campbell if Campbell's as good as I think he is. But Kevin Mitchell, he looks to have got his work cut out. Barroso on his record looks like a huge puncher. He looks pretty big as well at the weight. So Barroso's a bit of an unknown quantity really for myself. I've not seen much of him.
No, I haven't.
But Mitchell is a good fighter, and Mitchell's always been a good fighter as well since I got into boxing from the Johansson fight. He's come unstuck a few times, got seedies and burns, but hopefully he wins that fight, and hopefully Campbell beats Mendy. He should do. Mendy looks tough. Looks like your typical tough Frenchman, and I think he will take in the distance. But I'd like to see these fights being made now, Mitchell and Campbell and Crawler, and even Flanagan. I know it's with Warren, but it'd be nice if these fights could all be made now, because Campbell looks like he's at that level now.
Yeah. Well, we'll come on to that actually in a bit. But so all the fights we just talked about there, Kevin Mitchell we said was a good fight. Joshua Dillian Whyte, we're both really looking forward to. Bellew Masternak. Campbell Mendy, you're not that keen on, but it would be nice to see how Luke Campbell can do against someone that seasoned. Eubank O'Sullivan, I don't see it going that long, to be honest. And then even though you said Malinardi, but you've got Malinardi, Chisora, and then you've got some young guys. You've got Martin Ward, Bellotti, Ball, Cheeseman. So you've got quite is that not enough for a good pay-per-view? I like it, actually. I think there's been good hype around all the fights. I believe it's £16. I'm going to the pub myself to watch it, but
Yeah, it's a good show. Like you say, it's a good show, but it's an extra $16.95 on top of a Sky subscription anyway, on top of a Sky Sports subscription. Why shouldn't we be getting shows like this anyway on the regular? But as far as pay-per-view goes, like I said, it is good. And as a massive boxing fan that I am, and many others are, you're going to buy it. A show like this, any show, any half-decent show, if boxing's on a Saturday night, I'm going to watch it, and I have to pay £16 for the pleasure. I'm 9 times out of 10 you're going to do that. But, it is a good show, and I think it's starting at 5 o'clock, so I think we'll even get to see some of the fighters further down the card, like a Martin Ward, Bellotti, Ball, Cheeseman, all 4 of them, that we've matched them, and I've seen all 4 of them in at least one fight, and they're all top quality prospects as well. So it is a good card, and I am looking forward to it.
Well, we'll end on the guys that will be starting off the night. Your Ted Cheesemans, your Jake Bulls, Reece Bellotti as well, and you've got Lucian Reed. Them sort of guys who've been starting the evening off for these sort of big shows. What do you make of Matchroom's recruitment policy in these young fighters? Do you think it's that you said they're
Matchroom
good quality?
They get all the best fighters now because they're the number 1 outfit in Britain. Jake Ball, I heard about him in the amateurs. I think he was on the GB setup for a little while, I'm sure. And I seen him on a big undercard around a month ago. I think he was fighting a tough Frenchman, and he looks a real good fighter. And I've heard good things about Ted Cheeseman. I remember Bellotti from the amateurs. I think he may have won the ABAs. I know he got to a few finals. And Martin Ward's obviously he's already won a WBC title of some sorts. And boxed Maxi Hughes twice. He's from Doncaster. He was a good fighter. And it's great for him to be on these shows. I've been way down the card on some massive shows like the Amir Khan Diaz. I was on there, and I've been on 4 or 5 world titles on the cards. And as far as getting experience, it's great.
Yeah.
And their fighters, they're probably the future of their divisions. If they were Matchroom and they're good fighters, they're gonna get there.
And one last thing, we'll talk about Malinardi. He was on the card quite late. What do you make of that being? You said he was going to put you to sleep, but do you think that's kind of cool? Malinardi's something a bit different.
He doesn't fill me with excitement.
No.
That knowing that Paulie Malinardi's fighting, whether he was on or off, it wouldn't make a little difference to me in terms of if I was going to buy the pay-per-view or not.
No.
He's a good fighter, even a very good fighter. But he's never been a fighter that's filled me with any excitement. No. And his opponent, good record, but I don't think that's going to be a great fight.
Okay, mate. All right, brilliant. Well, thanks for your thoughts, Dave. We'll have you
anytime, Adam.